injustice done to a woman. That's it. The moment she's complaining means she's disagreeing with it. She didn't say, Prophet, I heard a very good thing I saw, that the woman was beaten up. The moment she's complaining means the wife, Hazrat Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, disapproved of it. So the lesson we get from this is, no one should beat the woman in such a way that she becomes green.
But sir, see, the exact statements he makes is that I have not seen any woman, that's Aisha herself, it's not my interpretation, I have not seen any woman suffering as much as the believing woman. So we see at the time of Muhammad that women were really in very, very bad shape, even though...
You know there are Hadith is saying, I have not seen a person, a believing person like Hazrat Bilal suffering. What was he suffering from? His master tortured him and said, don't say there's one God and I will leave you. Hazrat Bilal, may Allah be pleased with him, on the death stone, he's agreed to die. He will say, I will not denounce Allah. I will keep on saying, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. There is no God but Allah and Prophet Muhammad is a messenger. He's taking the pain. That means if I say Hazrat Bilal is a believer who is being tortured, that does not mean that what act that being done on Hazrat Bilal, may Allah be pleased with him, is right. It is wrong. But he's a believer who's taking the pain. In this context, we have to see the context and go to the Shara. We have to see Fath al-Bari. And what was the woman? What was she? Who tortured her? Was it the master? Was she a slave woman? You have to go to the Shara. I am not a muhaddith. I am telling you what the answer can be. You have to go to the Shara and find out. Why was she? Who hit her? Who beat her? Did the husband do? Was the husband a believer? There are 10,000 reasons.
But just because, excuse me, in Mishkat al-Masabi, volume 2.
Brother Shekhar,
yes.
What I would like you to do, there are so many people waiting at all the mics. Precisely, concisely, I would like you to put your question in a few words and then close. Because you got such a big sheaf of papers, there are many people I see waiting with small slips or something. So we cannot allow this whole thing to go on. This is not a debate session, it's a question and answer session. I want you to put your question in the next 4 sentences. Let Dr. Zakir answer so that all the many ladies standing there here also get a chance. We have exactly 1 hour, 12 minutes left. We have occupied 20 minutes already.
Brother, initially you asked 2 questions answered. You said I want a counter. What counter you gave? In the counter you're asking 1 more question. I don't mind answering your 100 questions, but in this rule, 1 question at a time, go behind the queue, no problem. You ask 2 questions, give the answer. You said I want a counter question. With the counter question you're asking 1 more question. So, I'm very kind, I don't mind. I would love. After finishing you can come in the cabin. And inshallah, I will answer all your questions. I want to ask you, after I answer your question, what will you do? Will you believe in the religion Hazrat Aisha believed? Yes or no? I yet have to answer your counter question.
Well, it's not just this 1 point. There are many, many more.
I'll answer inshallah all. How many are there? 10, 20, 50, 100? How many?
Well, we can sit on that.
How many approximately?
Well, there are many more. I have not
How
really
many?
counted
10, 20, 100, 1,000, 10,000? How many do you have now in your mind?
Well, I do have.
How many? 10, 20, 30? How many?
Yeah, probably quite a few. Maybe.
Quite a few is how much? 5 or 10? Approximately.
I don't know, maybe 100 questions.
100 questions you have? Brother, after this session is over, we sit together. Okay? Write down all the 100 questions. Inshallah. Inshallah. I will try and answer everyone.
Okay?
I request you, we'll spend the full night together. I don't mind, because you are a seeker of truth. And I am also a seeker of truth, and my job is to try and clarify the truth. Not that I am a scholar. I will try and answer all the 100 questions. But I doubt whether you will be able to write 100 questions. I doubt. Coming to your main counter question, brother.
That will be basic counter question.
Counter question of yours is that daraba has got 2 meanings. One is strike off the head. You ask me then, how do you come to know which is correct? Correct?
Exactly.
In the counter question, don't ask 1 more question. That means you're breaking the rule.
Sir, I'm just refuting what you said.
Not refuting. See, you asked a counter question. Counter question was of daraba, has got meaning of striking. That is the counter question. In that counter question, you asked 1 more question. You can't ask 1 more question in a counter question. You can ask 1 counter question, but that was a fresh question that you asked. Now coming to your question of daraba. You said striking, I agree with you. How do you come to know 1 time it is lightly beating, 1 time it is striking of the head? The verse in the Quran is there, in Surah Maryam. chapter 19, verse number 47. Mary, may Allah be pleased with her, she says, when Archangel Gabriel says that you shall have a son. So she says, how shall I have a son when no man has touched me? How shall I have a son when no man has touched me? Now if you go to the Lugha, your hands were a dictionary. All lanes, I believe you read my dictionaries. All this looking on the internet. It's not difficult. You go on the internet and type, you will get 100 questions against Islam. Not 100, you get 1,000. Very easy. Not that a person had done research. If he had done research, you would have come to know who was whose father and who was whose husband and mother, everything. But you go on the internet, you get this very easy. Now, the Arabic word masah has got two meanings. Physical touch, it means sexual touch. So when Mary, may Allah be pleased with her, she says, how shall I have a son when no man has touched me? It is understood, it is not physical touch, it is sexual touch. Correct?
Yes.
Similarly, there are several verses in the Quran. Now when there are 2-3 meanings, even both can be correct or one can be correct. To have more details, you go to the Hadith. Hadith is the commentary of the verse of the Quran. Correct? Maybe the same word has got two meanings. In that verse, it means meaning number 1. In the second verse, it meaning number 2. Hadith is the commentary. So when we go to the Hadith of this Surah Nisa, chapter 4, verse 34, talking about Daraba, there the Prophet said, do not beat on the face. Do not leave a mark. Beat like a toothbrush. I gave the answer, but you were so much concentrating on the notes you have that you forgot my answer. If you have heard my answer, that if there are 2-3 meanings, all meanings cannot be right. Maybe one is right, maybe 2 are right, maybe all 3 are right. Therefore you have to go back to the Prophet. The Quran says, Atiullah, Atiur Rasul. Obey Allah and obey the Messenger. So when there are 2-3 meanings, you have to go to the Hadith and find out what did the Prophet mean by that word. So there when it says strikes off that, it means strikes off. Here it means strike lightly. So therefore, if you know the supplement to the commentary of the Quran, it's the Hadith. Without the authentic Hadith, you cannot understand Islam. So a Prophet said, it means beat lightly, like beating with a toothbrush, don't beat on the face, don't leave a mark on the body. So these are the guidance given by Rasul. Therefore, it is obligatory that besides the Quran, you have to follow the authentic Hadith. Hope that answers the question, and inshallah I'll wait for you after 10 o'clock in the speaker's lounge, inshallah. Yes, Brother Shekhar?
Thank you.
And since you have 2 daughters, you said you have 2 daughters and you want, sorry?
And 1 son.
The son, there's no hadith saying the son will take you to Jannah here.
Yeah.
If he become the pious son, and if he prays for you, inshallah even he will be a path to Jannah. What I want to see to it that besides good deeds, you even have faith. Faith is one of the important criteria to go to Jannah. And since you have an urge to go to Jannah, to paradise, inshallah I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may He make me the zariyah, the pathway to take you to Jannah, inshallah.
Yes, sister.
Hi, my name is Chloe. I'm from Canada. I'm a student here in Mumbai.